You're listening to Glam Estates Radio with your hosts Coco and Gregory, right here on LA Talk Radio.
Hello everyone, welcome to Glam Estates Radio, another Wednesday, and we are here again. We are a big family today. Of course, with me, as always, I have my business partner, Coco Selburn.
Hello, everybody. What a great week we're about to have once again.
Oh, yeah.
Gregory, nice to see you. How have you been?
I've been great, very, very busy, Coco, with you, as you know.
It's been a crazy week.
Running around like crazy all the week.
And what a great time we're going to have today. Wow, I can't wait to get started.
As
We've got
you can
so
all
much going
see,
on.
we're a big family here today. We have producer, writer, director, actors of the play that is called. Would you like to say?
It's The Princes of Kings Road.
Right,
The Princes of Kings Road, absolutely.
Road. And
This is actually quite related to real estate, as a matter of
very.
fact. Yeah, Neutra and Schindler.
We've sold
is
many
huge.
properties in Kings Road.
Hey,
That's one thing.
I'm telling you, we're here.
This play is an original play written by Tom Lazarus, based on a true incident. So let me introduce
Please.
our friends here today. On my left, I have Stevie Stern Lazarus, who is the producer. I also have Tom Lazarus right across on me. I have John Nielsen, who plays Rudolph Schindler. And I also have Ray Zifo, who plays Richard Neutra. And amazing, I saw the picture. Oh my God, what a great, similarity and all with.
Oh yeah, it's amazing, the stunning transformation you seem to have. I don't know if you were channeling him intentionally or what was going on there, but.
No, it's not exactly an accomplishment. If my performance is as good as my picture, it'll be a great show.
I'm sure it will.
Well, we can't wait. So tell us a little bit about how this all came to be, please.
Well, Stevie, the producer, and myself were watching a documentary on Julius Shulman, who is the great architectural photographer of the modernist period. And as part of the documentary on Shulman, they mentioned in passing an incident that happened to iconic LA architects Rudolph Schindler and Richard Neutra. Rudolph Schindler, played by John Nielsen, was lying in the Cedars of Lebanon hospital, dying. And by sheer coincidence, his longtime partner, Richard Neutra, who had been his partner 23 years prior to this incident, they hadn't spoken, hadn't been with each other. It was a bitter estrangement. And then, as I said, by sheer coincidence, Richard Neutra is rolled into the room with Schindler.
Wow.
It's
uncanny.
It's uncanny, it's unbelievable, but it's absolutely true. And when they mentioned that in the Julius Shulman documentary, we looked at each other and said, that's a play. That was 2 years ago. We've worked on it in the playwrights unit of Ensemble Studio Theater, who are producing this. And we developed the play over the last 2 years, and now we are going into a full production at the Richard Neutra Museum, Institute, and Gallery in Glendale.
Wow.
Wow.
It is a wow. It takes my breath away.
Wow.
It is.
Kind
a
of
big
like that
one.
uncanny thing like happened in the elevator today, huh?
Well, we were coming up in the elevator, and these strange people accosted us, and 15 minutes
that was
later,
us.
we're here.
All the strange people, I love it.
Hey, I'm on the radio.
Anything goes. It's all good.
Right.
Well, what a great story. So you guys, you heard about this, and how were you in contact with that kind of information? I'm curious. Is this like a noted story that came about from?
It's surprisingly,
like
it's
legend?
not a noted story. And what we did was, after being stimulated by this mention in the documentary, I did the research. I wrote 30 drafts of the screenplay. I brought it to actors at the Ensemble Studio Theater, and they read it aloud. We developed it more. We presented it at a reading series that Ensemble Studio Theater puts on for developing plays. Richard Neutra's son, Dion, was in the audience. Wow. Another one of those uncanny things.
Just happened to be?
Just,
Another
well,
wow.
5 minutes before the curtain, one of my actors comes up and says, Dion Neutra is outside and he wants to talk to you. My heart leapt from my chest.
Yes.
We introduced each other. We said hello. The lights went down. The lights came up. I walked over to him and he said, "You got it amazingly right."
Nice.
Wow.
So he didn't have the marshals arrest you?
No, then I was put in chains and dragged out of the room. So he was happy, and he invited us, our production, to the Neutra Institute Museum and Gallery in Glendale to put the play on there as a full production,
Wow.
which opens September 12th.
Wow. My goodness. My goodness. What a way to get, the ultimate blessing on it, so to speak, of like, thank you for doing this.
Well,
He was
it's
good with it.
such a gift to be able to present this play with these quality actors in a Richard Neutra space designed by the character in the play, and we're in there with our set, and the Neutra building is intact, in perfect condition. We can't want more than that to put on this production.
Wow.
My goodness. My goodness. Wow.
And good night.
Okay, that's it.
Good luck.
Let's go.
That was it. Ray and John, please, if you could, tell us a little bit about how it was when you first heard about this play and thinking about the role and coming out for it. Can you share with us a little bit about your experience?
Well, we might as well continue on the uncanny line.
A little bit closer. I'm
They
sorry.
can't hear us.
The uncanny. So Tom had Dion. Ray looks exactly like Neutra.
Exactly.
It's
And
crazy.
1 year ago, I was forced out of my apartment of 20 years that was designed by Rudolf Schindler.
Oh, give me a break.
And
Give me a
Like-
break.
there's a new owner because
What
Silver
else?
Lake has changed, and a new owner came in and claiming owner occupancy. Of course, he hasn't moved in a year later.
That's so weird. That never happens.
No, it never happens. And I'm sure you know nothing about it.
No, it never happens.
So I decided, I'm a New Yorker, and I decided this was a good opportunity to spend some time in New York. So I planned to go for 2 months, and I came back 10 months later. And 3 days after I arrived, our theater company, EST, sends out a mass email announcing auditions. I had no intention of even looking at the email because I just arrived, and I'm thinking I just have to resettle and get a new place and get some work and all that, But I thought, well, let me see what's going on. Let me see what our theater company is doing. So I opened it, and I see The Princes of Kings Road. So I thought, well, how do I not audition for this? I could have come back at any time in that 10 months, but I came back exactly 10 months to the week, and then this email happens, and so I audition, and Stevie,
Everything happens for a reason.
everything
You
happens for a reason.
totally
and-
took it out of my
and
head there.
Stevie asked if I'd be interested in auditioning for both roles, and I said absolutely not. I'm only interested in Rudolf Schindler,
Nice.
and somehow I got it.
Money passed
Money
hands.
passed hands.
That's so Hollywood.
I had
He
to.
didn't,
I
he
had
didn't have to sleep with me.
I-
Just money passed hands.
I had to agree to work for less than we normally do in theater.
That never happens either.
No. And somehow I ended up with all these people.
Wow.
And it's an amazing journey. And I feel, again, not that I believe in fate, but the coincidence was just too bizarre. And the connection all of us have somehow to this thing, it all just seemed to happen in the right way. So,
It's been that way for this play since the very beginning. It's never easy but this has been easy. We've got the right actors, we have the right space, we have music in the play by Richard Neutra's wife.
What?
Wow.
From years and years ago, her cello playing is the soundtrack to this journey for us. It all goes right.
All the best coincidences together, all the best of luck, everything. You have it. That's
So
awesome.
far, we look
You
very
will continue like this. You will.
we look very carefully before we cross the street these days. Yeah.
Tom still is a little worried about next Saturday, but
We open next Saturday. We're ready. I know we're ready. I see you guys. I see you perform every day. We rehearse every day. The script is evolved every day. Their performances evolve every day. That gets better and better and clearer and truer.
Premiere next Saturday.
That's the world premiere.
Wow. Okay.
Nice, nice. And what about you, Ray? You've been awfully quiet over there.
I've just been listening and enjoying. It's been great. I have a relationship with Stevie and Tom, who are playwrights at EST. And I was a moderator, I was a facilitator for a little program for developing new plays. And I've had the pleasure of listening and participating and watching them grow as writers. And so my admiration for what they write and how they write goes back a little ways. And when this particular project came up, junkie that I am, it's always exciting to get a great, a great opportunity. So this particular character is great. His mentor, Neutra's mentor, was Schindler. Schindler's actually was 5 years his senior. They grew up together in Vienna. They went to school together in Vienna. They lived together here on King's Road.
Yes.
And then there's this bitter breakup. And then the wonderful setup that Tom has made for us, not the setup, taking advantage of a historical fact that they actually wound up in the same hospital room, was really rather exciting. Anyway, and John is so passionate, a Schindler, and so knowledgeable about the background of Schindler and their relationship. It's been a wonderful journey, just gathering all kinds of information and then building on this relationship. It's a wonderful opportunity for an actor.
I had the good fortune at my apartment complex. It was 16 units altogether, 5 buildings, 16 units. And I would say about half of the apartments held architects. And one of them, my downstairs neighbor, who ironically was the other tenant forced out, is the foremost expert, arguably in the world, on Rudolf Schindler. She has like 7 books on it. Her name is Judith Schein. She's phenomenal.
Yes.
And so over the course
Yes.
of 20 years,
Yes.
aside from a couple of the books she gave me, I also learned a lot, just in casual conversation, and it was really wonderful. And this came up, and it's just the most bizarre thing.
Oh, but it's so meant to be at the same time.
So meant to be.
That's-
So meant to be. Because I could still be in New York, it's, yeah.
This is very cool.
Yeah.
This is very cool. Now, you mentioned, of course, the idea behind this play is that this is taking place in the room. I have a question for you. Did it cross your minds? Do you think that the doctors or the nurses knew that they knew each other? Do you think that it's possible they were like,
From everything we've been able to gather in terms of the research, it was purely a coincidence, that it wasn't motivated by either party, that
No.
nobody knew, and when they closed the door is when
Fate.
our play begins.
wow?
Yeah, I mean, realistically, I would think it's unlike now with social media and the kind of, that back then maybe Frank Lloyd Wright was probably the only known star architect in this country.
Well, this takes place in 1953, and I think you're probably right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Wow.
at this time, Richard Neutra was in favor as an architect among architects. Now, the forgotten man, Rudolf Schindler, has almost, or if not, has surpassed Neutra in importance in terms of design and architecture.
Yeah, the flow has gone a little bit this way and then this
Exactly.
way, and now it's For the moment, it's in the direction of Schindler.
Right.
It's true. That's what we
Exactly
hear
right.
more about.
Forever.
The biased actor speaks.
Understandably so. Now, in the play, you must discuss their bitter breakup.
Yes, we do. We
You want to
discuss-
give us any
we
hints
dis-
about what you're
not
going to talk
so
about?
much, but
Tease
what
the
we-
audience. They want to know a little more tease.
Well, there are three major incidents, we believe, and most scholars believe, was the reason for their breakup. And we would enumerate them in terms of 1 and 2 and 3. But that's what our play's about. It's the drama.
Yeah.
They get, after 23 years, these two iconic architects get to vent themselves, they get to accuse each other from their hearts, and they get to deal with it, finally deal with it.
And of course,
Wow.
in the end, the butler did it.
Yes, of course, the butler.
Tell us about the butler.
The butler is topless.
You know how to get it going, don't you? You are a blast. We should really have this
He's the
conversation.
writer. Of course
I
he
was
knows
gonna
how to
say,
get
this
going.
is like, we should do this again. Maybe without the camera and the video, but another conversation. So
Let me
fun.
interrupt you, since everything goes so predictable today.
Yes.
and-
Proceed.
let's make a phone call.
Yes, let's include our new family here on what's happening.
Okay, so we just put our clients into escrow today. They don't know it yet, but they're going to find out right now today.
They've been
Cool.
looking. They're absolutely brilliant.
Lovely family,
My
brilliant
goodness,
people.
They've been they're actually movie makers, and they are coming in from Mexico, and they've been looking for at least 6 months. They had to go away for a little while and come back, and we were looking at another property for them. They were about to go into escrow. We couldn't get the other agent to respond back. Yesterday we looked at a different house, and as things happen, perfect house.
They felt it. They had it all. They're
Perfect.
like,
Everything
this
they
is our
wanted.
house. They felt it.
Everything they wanted.
And we had shown this one, but it went in escrow. They lost it, and then it came,
We didn't even get to show it to them. It
Right.
went in like 10
and
seconds.
it came back again, and they saw it, and they were like, we feel it. This is
Yeah.
our house. We want it.
And they're 5 months pregnant, so they're like,
And who has the screen rights to this story?
Coco and Gregory.
that's right, quick, nail it.
Okay, so I'm going to call
Let's call
Daniel.
Have it on speaker for us.
Yes.
See how it goes.
Should we sing happy birthday or something?
Yeah, let's do that. See how we do.
Hello?
Hey Daniel, it's Gregory with Coco here. How are you?
Hey, Gregory. How are you guys?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. We're actually right here at the show. We're calling you from the show.
Are you calling us from the show?
From the show, Daniel. We have some very good and exciting news to tell you.
Is Samantha with you?
Or-
Hi, Daniel.
Yeah, she is. She's right here.
Oh.
Hi.
Hey
Hi.
Samantha.
Hey, just wanted to call and let you guys know that it's official. The house is yours. Congratulations, you're in escrow.
Woohoo!
Yay! Finally! It's happening. It's happening.
That's awesome.
Thank you guys. You guys are the best.
Oh, you're so sweet.
Oh my
Oh,
god, it's so exciting. I can't believe we got that amazing house. That's so cool.
yeah, you guys, you really deserve it.
How
It's,
did you guys hear about it? What does that mean?
that means that the sellers signed the counteroffer that you signed earlier, and escrow has been notified. Escrow has officially been opened, and you are officially the buyers in wait, as they say. So you have.
Wow.
Oh my god, that's so cool.
We are so happy to deliver this news to you. And after the show, of course, we're going to send you an email with escrow instructions and everything.
Yep.
And
That's great.
yeah.
That's great. I love that you guys gave us the news, and I love it that you gave it to us. People can hear how you guys are the best real estate team in all of LA.
Oh,
Thank you,
deserve much,
Daniel.
Live it up, baby.
Glam it up, Daniel.
Glam it up, Daniel. We're thrilled.
Now
Well,
we're gonna go celebrate.
Now we're gonna go celebrate, and maybe by the time you guys call us, we'll be incredibly drunk and happy.
yay! Start packing, kids. It's not going to be long. That's for sure. We'll get down there and help you for sure. Well, congratulations, you guys. This couldn't happen to a better couple, and we're really excited for you. This is what makes our job great. This is what the best part of what we do.
We love you guys.
Thank you for your patience, and thank you for being so easy to work with.
Yeah. So we'll get everything going for you. You guys go enjoy yourselves. We'll take care of the rest with you, but don't worry about a thing. It's going to be very easy, very smooth, and before you know it, you'll be having your baby shower over there. Okay?
Sounds amazing. Hey. Thanks, guys.
Okay. We'll talk with you soon. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Talk soon.
Bye.
Okay.
Yay!
That was very cool.
That was very cool. That was
Yeah,
very cool.
we're very
They're great
excited
people.
about them.
They're great people. We love that opportunity.
It's
They will.
great that they were in.
Yeah.
Take the call.
No kidding, right?
It took a while.
Like,
It took
oh.
a while.
No, he means that they were available to take the call.
Oh, yeah.
It's very
I thought-
helpful. Been like, oh boy, hi.
Good for them, good for the show.
You know, it's not always the easiest thing to buy or to get what you're looking for, and it's actually the interesting part is that as many beautiful homes as there are out there, their home ownership is at its lowest since 1960s.
What's the reason for that?
The reason is we've had a lot of since the foreclosure and the crash, all those foreclosures, all the short sales, all the distressed properties, people lost their homes, and when they lost their homes, they went into rentals. And when they went into rentals, their credit scores went down significantly, and their ability to save went out the window because all these landlords then took the opportunity to raise rents. And they call it luxury property ownership, right? Or basically, if you've seen all these apartment
Without air conditions.
commercials, you know, yeah, and they call it luxury living. So it's granite countertops.
Recessed lighting.
Mm-hmm. So it's luxury living in some form or another, but you pay double what you were paying before. There's no way for you to save. Most people who had the ability to make a purchase, they can't because of now the restrictions for loans have changed a lot.
Thank God.
Yeah, no, it's true. It is. Thank God. There was a horrible pattern that was taking place. If those people who follow us at all will know is that we're constantly advocating the fact that it shouldn't have happened the way it did, no matter what. It shouldn't have been people being able to get loans because they were destroyed by that process. And then they were financially ruined in lots of ways, and it shouldn't have taken place, but it did. And now the rules are different. They're better. They're more secured. They're tapered to make sense. But now they've probably gone the other way, as in great rules. Great rules can take place, and then they kind of go one direction.
Right.
Then we kind of hope for an ebb and a flow in one way or the other. But it's gotten more difficult even for people who have great income, who want to make a purchase and want to own their own property, so that they can have equity for the future and have something that they can have for themselves.
And what has that done to the prices of houses?
Well, prices of houses have still gone up here, especially the last year and a quarter. We've had more than 25% increase in homes, and that's because fewer people are selling, mostly because they don't have a place to go. They can't make another purchase again.
They can't get back in they get back in at a lower quality level.
Exactly. They go in for lower quality. Even if they move, they're paying triple what they originally were getting into a home for.
Or they have to sacrifice.
Exactly. So a lot of people don't see a benefit in selling. And they're right. There really isn't a benefit to sell in lots of ways if that's the case. But there's still a need. We're still going to have a housing shortage come next year, even more than it is this year.
And that'll drive prices up?
It will drive prices up. So those people who are considering selling will do great if they're looking to change the environment of the home that they have. If they want to take advantage, maybe downsize, maybe change where they live in a different city, maybe a different location, that they'll benefit from. But if you just want to get from one house to the other in the same neighborhood, it's not going to help you. I mean, you're going to be in for a bigger bill, maybe. It's likely where you'll end up.
Interesting.
So, and the part that we feel so tied to, especially, is it seems that the middle class has disappeared in a big way because of it. And then they're forcing people out of their homes in their rentals with this false discussion of, owner occupancy when they're buying those apartment complexes like John experienced here. It's very common we see things like this. They use the rule of owner occupancy. Oh, we're going to come in and we're going to be there. They never show up. Right. It's a sad state, but it's true what they're doing because they don't want to deal with people renting in those properties. They want to own it.
And the more this is happening, the gap is getting bigger, and at the end it's going to happen like Europe, pretty much like my country, where we're gonna have 90% rentals and 10% sales. I mean,
That's right.
as talking real estate, yeah. In Greece, they do. If you're an agent, you do rents. Sales is 1 out of 10.
Yeah, it doesn't almost never happens. Even though we do real estate transactions outside the country as well.
But with investors from other countries.
Yes, and of course, we do cash purchases for also for Greece as well, things like that. So I'm not Greek, but I like to play one on TV.
But she's working on it though, and she's getting better and better.
Yeah, I know how to say "opa."
And some other bad words.
That's true. I
We
remember that was
started
like
with
2 weeks
this, and
ago I
then.
Okay. It's radio. You can say what you want to.
Right.
I didn't know I was saying it really at the time, but that's okay. It's like I'm a 5-year-old. I hear it, I repeat it. What do you want from me? So we see that change, and I think it's a sad thing. I know I grew up in a place where, unfortunately for so many people, didn't have the same situation. Like I grew up in a house here in LA with the family who had the ability to own a home. And most people can't. The benefits of owning a home, are debatable for some people, buy versus rent. But when you're able to buy, the matter of it becomes the ability to have equity for the future and something that you can play with and you can utilize and leverage. So you can be wherever you want to. It really gives you that opportunity. And that's why investors send out those letters and they say, like, oh, we can buy your house cash. Well, yeah, it's going to be cash. Like what? The end of a loan is going to be cash too, but investors like to send out those letters and say, we'll buy it cash. I know, it's all cash. It's the same thing.
Only difference is 15 days.
15 days difference.
It's interesting because some of the supporters for the Princes of Kings Road are preservation groups.
Oh, nice.
Because the architecture of our show, which we show in the show, we have slides showing this great architecture.
Don't give it all away.
Is revealing too much?
Okay. Well, we don't have
There's
slides,
stuff happening that
unfortunately,
might be
no.
interesting for those
No,
people
but
like
it's
this.
really quite beautiful, and the appeal that this show has to the preservation group, which Stevie is a member of, has been a longtime supporter of preservation groups. I'm on a historic preservation overlay zone, which protects the architecture in a mid-city area neighborhood. But they
Thank
are
God
are
for you guys. Can I say that?
well, it's
Please,
all.
thank God.
We're all on the same team, and the supporters of this play appreciate the play on an architectural level, on
Yes.
a real estate level. That is really quite wonderful, and we were kind of not surprised, but almost touched by their support.
How does someone who's listening become involved in that? In the preservation group?
Well, there are preservation groups really all over. Tom and I are involved with the West Adams Heritage Association,
Beautiful.
which is in the Mid-City area, the West Adams District. But there are groups all over. There's now a preservation museum in the San Fernando Valley. And excuse me, but I don't know what it's called. We just met the gentleman at the Neutra Institute the other day. But there are people all over the city that are aware of Neutra buildings and Schindler buildings and are seeing these buildings sometimes, get razed and are suddenly rubble. And for those of us, I'm born and raised in LA.
Yay.
And for
Hey,
those,
that's 3 of us.
yeah, great.
I was wondering where you were.
I knew that would be
We're right here.
Hey, that's great.
And it's a shame that, our architectural history could vanish. And so
Yes.
I think that there are people now who are very passionate about that. And as Tom mentioned, we now have historic preservation overlay zones, which some people moving into them find them, it's like, I don't want people to tell me what to do with my house.
Sure.
But it's the HPOZs are only the exterior of the house, and why shouldn't we preserve our neighborhoods? Just that we can drive down a street and see these houses intact in all their beauty because the time and the care that people used to put into building houses isn't what it is now.
Where have you guys been all this time? I swear to you, this is what we talk about. This is great.
Yeah.
Yes, it's true. The value in the. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Please. I
No,
was
you
excited.
didn't at all. And so, another group that has kind of rushed to get their members to come and see our play is the West Hollywood Preservation Alliance. And so this play has touched a lot of people who are, architectural buffs, who are architects, who are involved in preservation, who know someone who used to live in a Schindler apartment or a Schindler house, or, have a relative who, lived next door to a Neutra house. It's our history in Los Angeles that people love, and we don't get that very often.
No, we don't.
And so now we're being able to see that in this play. So Tom was mentioning about the slides, which I think is really important. I think that it's a really nice addition to the play, that people will actually be able to see what these architects did, because they thought in ways that no one else did. When Frank Lloyd Wright came along,
Yes.
he was thinking of things that no one else was thinking about. And that's how Rudolf Schindler and Richard Neutra were. They imagined things that nobody else were building, and gave life to these buildings that now grace Los Angeles. And so audiences will be able to see that and will be able to learn, besides being touched by this amazingly emotional story of these two men who were friends, and are able to really talk about their friendship and about their ideas and their legacy. And I never see a reading or a production of this. It hasn't been produced yet. We're opening on September 12th, but I never sit through a reading of this without being touched.
It's so great that they shaped so much of LA's history. This country is so young. We didn't have a whole lot of architectural design. We could say, like, my counterpart here, Gregory, who comes from ancient history, so to speak, of architecture. Okay.
Have some gray hair.
But we, as a country, don't have that much time.
Yeah.
And plus, LA is really only 150 years old, really, realistically.
Yes.
And the fact that we have any kind of a cultural background to connectivity to buildings is a great blessing, an ability to have a sense of belonging and a community. These two, along with Wright, also brought along this consistency that we didn't have before. So I'm excited that you have thought of making this play happen and it come into reality. So it begs the question, you each must have a favorite building.
Well, we actually only recently went to the Schindler House on Kings Road, which is now the Mack Center for Rudolf Schindler, and it's just an amazing building. It's a very intimate space, and a very kind of raw space, and it's the interesting ways that it lets light into the building. It's beautiful.
How about you, John?
Well, it was the Sachs Apartments. And I haven't really had a chance to think much on this, other than what we're doing with the play. But, I was already familiar with a lot of it, although more familiar with some of his apartments. There's another one right around the corner, the Falk Apartments, which are really beautiful.
What did you like about them? I mean, what was it that, is there something in particular?
Mine was very unusual. So out of the 5 buildings, the building I was in was the first one that Schindler designed, 1926.
The first one?
And he designed it for
Wow.
a friend of his who was an artist, Herman Sachs. And the whole building was built for Herman It's now 4 separate apartments, but at the time it was just for him. It was built inside of the hill, so I was in what Judith referred to as the penthouse. It was the top floor, but it was actually the ground level, and then the building went down. And there was an exterior staircase directly in the center underneath my apartment, which was enormous. It was 1,200 square feet.
Wow.
And on the south side of the staircase was Judith's loft. So that was where Herman did his work. It was a loft space, 21-foot high ceilings, with a wall of a kind of curtain of glass wall on the exterior of it. And then there was servants' quarters. And then below that, this is going into Herman Sachs's history, but he had a little tryst apartment for his.
Well, don't we all?
So,
Yes.
you know,
That had an underground hallway that connected to his studio.
you gotta need,
But what
things
was really
need to
the
be. There are
reason-
trends for different
The
times.
reason I bring this up, what was really unusual about it was that my apartment was a deco design. It's really, I don't know of any other deco that Schindler had done, but apparently that was a request from Sachs for his living quarters. The rest of it was not deco, but my apartment was, and it had some amazing features. I mean, undulating ceiling and hidden doorways, and it was phenomenal. So I guess that is still my favorite building.
Understandably so.
Yeah,
Yeah, that sounds stunning.
yeah, it was.
Well, I hope you got a couple of pictures before you had to go.
Yeah, I've never been a big camera person. I have a couple. I wish I had taken more.
Well, John, you showed me some pictures of your place, and then you showed it to me as it was originally.
That's right.
And
the old,
it's amazing, and it was so well preserved, that
Yeah,
apartment, just
yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
I hope we get to see some pictures of that somewhere.
yeah.
That'll be great. How about you, Ray?
The most significant house for me is the house that the two historical characters shared, which was the King's Road house. So it's not a Neutra house. I did get a chance to drive up to Neutra's Health House, which is a really beautiful, gorgeous home in the hills. And it was in L.A. Confidential. What's the movie?
Oh, yes.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it was gorgeous.
The
in
Kim
movie.
Basinger movie.
Yes,
Yeah.
Kim,
Yeah.
yes. There were others, but yes, I remember Kim Basinger in that movie.
I think there was a crow guy in there, too.
No, but the King's Road house is so significant for me, or has. It gives me a great insight into what they shared. The simplicity of the house, it's just amazing. Raw concrete, things I refer to in the play, or we refer to in the play, it's alive. And I mean, it's the simplest kind of construction. And I guess it was very affordable housing, yes?
Well, you know, the wonderful thing about Schindler, when he built that house, the King's Road house, there was literally nothing there around it for as far as almost the eye can see. You can see from King's Road up into the hills, there was no building, there's no nothing, there was no landscaping. It was this incredibly original masterpiece built on a dirt plot. And it remains intact today, preserved by the Max Center, which is the group, I think it's in Austria, who owns this and runs it, and they run it beautifully, and they respect it, and they have tours, and it's open to the public, and it's extraordinary a house. You've never been in anything like it. As Stevie said, we were there a couple weeks ago. It changed the play. To be in the space, which was so unique and so wonderful and so small and so intimate and so handmade, because Schindler hammered the nails himself. He cut the wood himself. He constructed it himself. Neutra, a different kind of architect,
Right.
using more common materials, things you could buy at stores, and that was his aesthetic versus the handmade muscularity of Schindler.
And Neutra wouldn't pick up a hammer.
Ray, are you going to take
I'm a
that?
slug. What can I say? I was an intellectual. None of this. if anyone is interested in seeing this house, it would make a great prelude to the play. Or if you go to see the play, going to see this house, that the play and their lives will have so much more resonance.
Do you happen to know the address?
Do we know the address?
It's Kings Road in Hollywood.
Kings Road in Hollywood. I'll tell you what, we're going to get that. We're going to post it on our website. We're going to
Sure.
put that up. We're going to tweet that out. We're going to Facebook that out. We're going to put that out on all our
And
social
while
media.
people are traveling around architecture, the house that Ray mentioned, which is the Lovell Health House, which Neutra built for Lovell, who used to be a client of Mr. Schindler's. That's all I'm going to tell you about that. But the house itself,
wait to see this
you
play.
can drive up to. You can drive up to it, and you see this house, and it is breathtaking. I mean, and it remains again preserved and original, like he built it almost 100 years ago. Both available. One, the Schindler House, open to the public. The Lovell Health House, probably a family is living in there. Knock on their door, say hello.
Hey, we'll knock on the door. We're good with that.
Yeah,
We're good for door knocking. No problem. Just set up a tour. Call us at.
I'm sure from tomorrow morning people are gonna calling us and be like, I want you to show me a Neutra and a Schindler house right now.
You get a
Let me see it. Let me
Neutra.
see it. Can we get both?
If you get a Neutra or Schindler, you call us.
Oh, we will.
Yeah.
And for the play, tell us more about where people can find you to get tickets, because people are going to be losing their mind right now. That's for sure.
You can find us on www.theprincesofkingsroad.com. And you can learn everything you want to learn about the show. The cast and director are listed on there. You can read about them. You can read a little bit more about Neutra and Schindler. And there is a link to be able to buy tickets online.
Oh, good, because, yeah.
And they better do it soon.
I was about to say,
Yes.
I don't think there's probably very many tickets left, to be honest with you. So
We do have
Gregory,
tickets
what are you
left,
doing?
but
You
we
gotta
are sold
check on their
out
phone
for
that.
our gala opening.
Oh.
And we are also sold out for our October 4th show. So there are tickets left, but please try and get them as soon as possible because, okay, after interviews like this, I think we're going to get more sales.
Well, you should. I mean, you're doing a service to LA. This is a service to Los Angeles. What you're bringing to light is our culture. And it's disappeared. Most people are LA has become a very transitional location for many people, and they're not as familiar with our architecture and our landscape and what's changed and what has stayed and how to keep it here.
It's
So-
so true.
Yeah.
So true.
And this is where it happened.
Yeah.
Right.
And these are the guys who made it happen. And that's what's so exciting about these
I
characters.
literally got a chill from them. It's so cool. It's so cool. I can't even tell you how excited I am. Okay, so again, it's www.theprincesofkingsroad.com. All right, well, let's see. I bet there won't be any tickets left by the time we're
Right.
done. All right.
Let's go take some pictures tomorrow. Some glam pictures.
Oh,
and
some glam
post
pictures.
them on our
Absolutely.
social
We're
media.
going to put them on our website as
That'd be
well.
great. It's
It will be
great.
on glamestates.com, and we'll have links there. If you're okay with that, we'd be happy to post your information there and cross those
Be
paths.
Great. And we want to see you at that show.
For sure you will.
I'm excited. I'm excited. Oh, that sounds great.
Thank you so much for allowing us to be guests on your show.
It's been a complete pleasure. What
It's a pleasure.
a clandestine meeting we had to happen today. That was amazing, and we couldn't be more thrilled that this would be completely related to what we do and the opportunity to have you all here.
And I hope we are another good coincidence for you.
Yes.
Truly you are.
Thank you.
We're
Thank you.
thrilled. I can't thank you enough for joining us today and being part of our family. And we invite you to come back again. Tell us more about what you're planning for the future and what you do for the Preservation Society and what's next, what's on your agenda, John and Ray, and what we're going to be happening and see you next.
Thank you very
Great.
much.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
a lot.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Greg,
Okay.
So until our next show, glam it up, baby.
You're listening to Glam Estates Radio with your hosts Coco and Gregory, right here on LA Talk Radio.